Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm going to teach you German in the most easiest possible way, right? And I will be teaching you the lessons or the concepts of German language both in English, Telugu as well as in Hindi. So please stay tuned to my channel for more classes related to the German language. Now let us say that today's class, the agenda of the class is to learn saying greetings and goodbye. So firstly, the greetings part. When do we greet the person? When that is the first meeting of the person, or when we first meet the person for the day, we will usually open the conversation by greeting the person. So depending upon whom we are talking to, we should decide whether the greeting should go in formal way or in informal way. If it is the formal conversation, so first let us understand when do we use a formal conversation and when do we speak in informal tone. The formal conversations usually will be said when we are talking to the person who is our immediate supervisor or the superiors at work, our class teachers or elders, where we use the respectful tone to speak to the person. That is considered as a formal conversation. And the informal conversation is when we are talking to our friends, family members, relatives, younger ones, kids, and so on. So we already know when to use a formal conversation, when to use the informal conversation. So now let us see how do we greet the person formally when we first meet them. So the formal communication or the formal way of greeting the person is three different ways. Guten Morgen, Guten Tag, and Guten Abend. These are the three ways of opening the conversation in the formal tone. And that why are we having three different ways? The three different ways depends upon the time period. At what time are you meeting the person? At what time are you starting the conversation with any particular person? Depending upon that, we will decide on whether to start the conversation with Guten Morgen, which means good morning, Guten Tag, which means good day, Guten Abend, which means good evening. But Gute Nacht, it is good night. This is nothing used as a opening of the conversation. Instead, we will be using this as a closing of the conversation. So now let's decide when do we use good morning, good day, and good evening as the opening of the conversations. So let us suppose if we are meeting the person in the morning time, the time from the time we wake up, it can be somewhere around the 5 o'clock till 9 o'clock. Let us suppose by the time we wake up till the time we take the breakfast. And for that, until that point of time, if it is a formal conversation, we will greet the person saying Guten Morgen. Now, after that, after the breakfast, once the sun is very bright and shining, very bright, very hot, then it is Guten Tag, which means good day. This can be until from 9 o'clock onwards in the morning, 9 a.m. till 3:30 p.m. 9 a.m. till 3:30 p.m. From 3:30 p.m. onwards, it is considered as good evening. Let us suppose till 8 o'clock. It can be any time in the evening, but why I am taking it 8 o'clock is because the official conversations or official communication will not start after 8 o'clock in the evening. So whatever may be the time, you can go for, suppose we can consider it like 3:30 to 8 p.m. It is good evening, which is Guten Abend in German. So Gute Nacht, as I said, this is used when we are going to bed, just before going to bed. And this is not used for a opening of the conversation, it is used to closing of the conversation. These are the four different ways of greeting the people in a formal tone, saying Guten Morgen, good morning, Guten Tag, good day, Guten Abend, good evening, Gute Nacht, good night. Now let us see how to greet the people in informal tone. Informal tone or the casual way of opening a conversation is just by saying hello. Be careful with the spelling. It differs when it comes to English as well as in the German. It is hallo, Hallo in German, Hello in English. So this is the way to greet the people when we first meet them, depending upon the time frame and depending upon whom we are talking to and how we are talking to. If it is a formal tone, Guten Morgen, Guten Tag, Guten Abend to open the conversation, Gute Nacht to close the conversation. If it is informal or the casual way, saying hello. Okay. Now the next part that we are going to learn for today is how do we conclude a conversation. So we have seen how to start a conversation. Now we also need to know how to properly end a conversation. Just after we speak something and we just leave the place doesn't seem to be of good manners. So we need to conclude the conversations properly. And again, for concluding the conversation properly, we do have two different ways. One is the formal way and the other one is the informal way. And again, the formal way of concluding the conversation is again categorized into two different types. One is auf Wiedersehen and the other one is auf Wiederhören. The main difference between these two lies how you are communicating with the person. If you are communicating with the person in-person communication, that is the person is standing right in front of you and you want to say bye, then we will go with auf Wiedersehen. Or when you are on a video call, or when you are sending any SMS, text, emails, WhatsApp messages, whatnot, all of this communication where literally our eyes are involved in the communication purpose. So observe, when you are on the video call or when the person is standing right in front of you or when you are sending an SMS, the eyes plays a very important role in reading the message or communicating. We will see to the person, we'll look at the person and then we will speak. So here it is, Wiedersehen. This is again a combination of two different words. One is wieder, which means again, and the other one is sehen, which means to see. When eyes are involved in communicating with the other person, then we will go with Wiedersehen. But instead, when the ears are only involved in the communicating with other person, that is when we are on the telephone call or a audio call, where we can only listen to the person who is speaking, but we cannot see the person. So again here, this is also a combination of two different words, wieder and hören. Wieder meaning remains same. Again, hören means to listen. Or to hear. So this is where our ears are playing a main role in communicating with the other person. So if it is an in-person communication or sending emails, SMSs, WhatsApp message, video calls, whatever, it is Wiedersehen. And if it is only audio call, then it is Wiederhören. And the next one is the informal way of communicating with the person. When we are talking to the person in informal tone and when we want to conclude the conversation, then we will be using the word tschüss, which means bye. Tschüss, simply saying bye. And then the next one is bis bald, that is see you soon. See you soon. Bis bald. Till next time. Okay, till soon, whatever. So that is the way of closing a conversation. And opening the conversations and the closing of the conversation, greetings and goodbyes are very important when you are communicating with the other person. Then it appears or you appear to be being a bit more polite when you perfectly or when you open the conversation and close the conversation in proper manner. So this helps you in opening and closing the conversation. So stay tuned and keep browsing my channel for more such content, and happy learning German. Thank you. Hope you liked the video. Please like, share and subscribe the channel. Do not forget to click on the bell icon for more updates. Thank you.